Welcome to the Make It a Better Day podcast, where we explore simple ways to create positive change in our lives and the world around us. I'm Alex, and joining me today is
Victoria, and I have to tell you, I've been looking forward to discussing today's topic all week. Finding your inner compass, the power of sacred spaces, something I think we're all craving right now.
Absolutely. You know, it's funny. I was sitting in backed-up traffic yesterday morning, feeling my blood pressure rise when I remembered this article. I actually turned off my podcast, rolled down the windows, and just breathed for a minute. Even that tiny moment felt revolutionary somehow.
It's amazing how those small pauses can completely shift our state of mind. The article opens with that scene of someone seeking refuge in their car by a lake, and that Joseph Campbell quote, "Your sacred space is where you can find yourself again and again." Such a beautiful way of putting it.
That quote stopped me in my tracks, especially because Campbell isn't just talking about physical spaces, right? He's talking about finding our way back to ourselves when life gets overwhelming.
Which is basically all the time these days. I was chatting with my neighbor last weekend while we were both out gardening, and she described her life as permanently behind on everything important. That really hit home for me.
Oh, I feel that in my bones. There's this constant sense that we should be doing more, achieving more, responding faster. No wonder we're all desperate for some kind of sanctuary.
And that's what I found so powerful about this article. It frames sacred spaces not as some luxury or indulgence, but as essential as a compass. When was the last time you felt truly connected to your own internal guidance system?
That's a tough question. Maybe last summer, I took a solo hike up to this ridge overlooking the valley. No cell service, no plan, just me and the hawks circling overhead. I remember sitting on this warm rock and feeling this clarity wash over me about some decisions I'd been struggling with.
That's exactly what the article is talking about. Those moments when we drop all the noise and can actually hear ourselves think. I was fascinated by that Ariana Huffington example. Talk about a dramatic wake-up call.
Right. Literally collapsing from exhaustion and breaking her cheekbone. Sometimes our bodies have to scream at us before we'll listen.
And what struck me was how deliberate she became afterward, creating that device-free sanctuary in her bedroom, establishing those morning rituals of meditation and intention setting. It wasn't just a momentary realization. She completely restructured her approach to success.
I keep thinking about what she might have missed if she hadn't made that change. I mean, would Thrive Global even exist? Sometimes our most important contributions come after these moments of recalibration.
That's such a good point. We often think about sacred spaces as something that takes us away from our work, but they actually enhance our capacity to do meaningful work in the world. Like that analogy your grandfather used about maintaining tools that you mentioned earlier. What was it again?
He always said, "A dull saw makes for dangerous work." He was a cabinet maker, so this was literal wisdom for him. But I think about it all the time with my mind. If I don't sharpen it regularly, my decisions get sloppier, my patience thinner, my creativity non-existent.
I love that. My grandmother had a similar saying about resting the dough when baking bread. She'd say you couldn't rush that rising process. The bread needed that quiet time to become what it was meant to be.
That's beautiful. You know, it makes me wonder, have you created any kind of sacred space in your own life, even something informal?
I have, though it evolved by accident. There's this little trail behind my house that loops around a pond. I started walking it in the mornings with my coffee. No phone, no earbuds. Just me and the occasional great blue heron fishing at the water's edge. Some days I'll stand perfectly still just watching how patient that bird is, waiting for exactly the right moment to strike.
I can picture that so vividly. And I bet that time influences how you show up for the rest of your day.
Completely. It's almost like there's this quality of attention I bring back with me. My partner says he can always tell when I've skipped my morning walk because I'm more reactive, less present. What about you?
For me, it's early morning meditation before everyone wakes up. Just 20 minutes of sitting in this little corner of my bedroom with a candle lit. Some days my mind is racing the entire time, but somehow just showing up for that practice helps ground me.
I think that's what the article means about sacred spaces not being about perfection. It's the commitment to creating that space, even when it's messy or brief.
Exactly. And I appreciate how the article acknowledges different forms this can take. Not everyone has access to beautiful nature trails or quiet rooms of their own.
That's such an important point. I really like the suggestion about developing mental sacred spaces through meditation or visualization. The idea that you can create a portable sanctuary even when physical retreat isn't possible.
Yes, I've been teaching my daughter about this. She gets overwhelmed at school sometimes, So we've practiced this visualization where she imagines sitting beside a peaceful stream. She can access that mental image anytime, anywhere.
That's amazing parenting. You're giving her tools she'll use her entire life. And it connects to what the article says about how nurturing our inner world isn't selfish, it's necessary. I think many of us need that permission.
Especially parents and caregivers. There's this pervasive guilt around taking time for ourselves. But I've noticed that when I honor my sacred space, I'm so much more patient and present with my kids. It's not taking from them. It's actually giving them a better version of me.
That ripple effect is so powerful. Our sacred spaces don't just benefit us, they transform how we show up in the world. I think that's partly what the article is pointing to with that 15-minute exploration suggestion.
Right? That prompt to reflect on how we can align our actions with our inner compass to make positive impact. I love how it connects personal well-being with broader change.
In a world facing so many challenges, staying grounded in our values feels more essential than ever. We need that internal guidance system to navigate such complex times.
So what would you suggest as a first step for someone listening who hasn't established any kind of sacred space practice?
Start with 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes of whatever helps you feel centered. Maybe it's sitting quietly with your morning coffee before checking your phone, or taking a short walk at lunch without multitasking, or even just closing your office door and breathing deeply for a few minutes between meetings.
And remember, it doesn't have to look Instagram perfect. My meditation corner is literally just a pillow next to a houseplant with a small candle. But it's become this powerful anchor in my life.
So here's a gentle challenge for today. Simple, but it could be life-changing. Take 15 minutes in your own version of a sacred space. No phones, no distractions, just you connecting with your inner compass. Notice what arises and how it affects the rest of your day.
And we'd love to hear about your experience. What does your sacred space look like? How does spending time there impact your sense of direction and clarity? Share your thoughts with us using #MyInnerCompass.
Don't forget to check out the full article on our website, along with videos and additional resources. And if you're looking for ways to bring these ideas into your daily life, our Redbubble store has some beautiful designs that help support our work.
Thanks for joining us today on Make It a Better Day, where we believe that small choices create big ripples. We'll be back tomorrow with more ideas to help make your day just a little bit better.
Until then, may you find your sacred space and trust your inner compass to lead the way. See you next time.